Good evening, guys and girls, and welcome back to a midweek edition of Nick's Veggie Patch. Haven't done one of these in a while for various reasons, so today or this week I thought I'd do a midweek mini version of Nick's Veggie Patch and show you what seeds I'm going to be sowing through August to cover something we call the hungry gap. So I do a short little video explaining all about the hungry gap and what we can do to compensate for it. I'll show you what seeds I'll be sowing through August, preparing for that gap, and obviously showing you a short video of me sowing some seeds down my allotment where I've been for a couple of times this week, and upload hopefully a video that has given you some advice, given you some tips, and maybe giving you an idea of what you want to maybe sow in August, if you are going to sow anything in August. Remembering we can still sow now through August, as late as September, but also if you're someone like me who likes garlic, you can start your garlic around about October time. So there's lots of things that I'm going to be talking about, showing you, and it will all be on this midweek edition of Nick's Veggie Patch. Catch you in a bit, guys. So, what is the hungry gap? Now, for those of you that don't know what the hungry gap is, the hungry gap is the months between when we start sowing for our main crop, which always materializes in between the end of June and say right through till October. So the hungry gap starts from January to early June. That's when there's hardly anything, if not at all, any produce fresh available that we grow in our allotments. So how can we fill that void? Well, there are a lot of vegetables that you can sow in August and slightly past August to cover that hungry gap and enable you to have some fabulous produce through the months of January through to early June. So things like spinach, chard, even the first crop of garlic if you sow any garlic. Now, some of you may have heard the term the hungry gap, so I'm not saying you don't know what the hungry gap is, but I thought I would do this video just to give my subscribers and followers that don't necessarily know what the hungry gap is just an idea of what it is and what it's about. Now, having looked up on this anyway, the hungry gap, or the worst time of the hungry gap for our UK farmers, which they class is the leanest month of the year, is April. That's when most British farmers say they class is the worst part of the hungry gap, where they don't have hardly anything available and they're waiting for the fresh crops that they've sown in the ground, waiting for them to be available. So in this video I have uploaded pictures or uploaded what I'm going to be sowing in August, just to give you a rough idea. And the things that I'm going to be sowing in August are the things you can use to fill the hungry gap. Now, for me, I've never really been worried about the hungry gap, but I was watching a video the other day from a fellow YouTuber, and he said that this year he went to his freezer and he was running low on certain things that he'd grown the previous year, harvested, taken home fresh, blanched and frozen, and he was running low. And he was saying that he had to go to the local supermarket to get those items that he was running low on. And he was saying, excuse me, about how more expensive it was to buy it from the supermarket than it was if he grew it in his allotment. So he was talking about filling the hungry gap, and he was showing what he was going to be sowing in August and September, and showing things that if you do sow in August and September, you can actually harvest certain things in October, November time. So things like radishes, which have a very quick turnaround. Spinach, same sort of thing, has a quick turnaround. So in my midweek edition of Nick's Veggie Patch, you'll see all the things I'm going to be sowing in August, and hopefully you've learned a little bit about the hungry gap. Right guys, one of the first things I'm going to sow today is obviously snowball turnip. So I'm going to sow turnips. The variety is snowball. There will be some pictures uploaded to this video so you can actually see what it is I am going to be sowing. The reason I'm sowing is because between January and May we have what we call the hungry gap. So that's the part of the year where growers don't generally tend to have anything ready to pick. So we basically call it the hungry gap, but we can get around that. We can get around that by sowing stuff and having a crop ready for next year. So I'm going to be sowing quite a few seeds for August. Hopefully they will pop up, and then I will have some raised beds ready for them to go out into. So as I said, I'm making snowball or turnips, but the variety snowball, the first one that is going to be sown. So got my trays nice and compact there. Just going to make the little holes with my dabber. And then fill them with turnip seeds. So I'm going to put about 4 or 5 seeds into each cell tray or module. And then if need be, when they're ready, I can prick them out. The weather's still nice and warm, so they should germinate quite quickly. And if you want to start sowing stuff to cover the hungry gap for next year, now's the time to start doing it before the cold weather starts coming back. So there we go. And then all I will do is just put another sprinkling of compost over the top. And put that into my tray here. I'll write a label for it, or I believe I've got labels already done for it, and then that will go on the shelf ready to go. Right, as you can see, I've done a bit of sowing tonight. Basically I've sown all the things that I said I was going to sow. They will be on the video, so if you can't see what's on the tags at the moment, don't worry about that, guys and girls, because they will be on the video with pictures. I haven't done everything tonight. It's getting a bit dark now, so I'm going to go home, but I've still got a few seeds in the tray to sow. I'll do them tomorrow, and it will be starting from the cauliflower. So I'll have to fill my tray up with more compost. But as you can see, guys, there is more seeds sown. And I will do some more tomorrow. Right, I just want to explain how I prepare myself for every new growing season, and I always find a trusty notepad helps. Now, I got this one a couple of years ago for Christmas, and inside it's just got loads of sections that I can turn to, and I can write stuff in. So if you're preparing for next year already, even though we're only still in August, I know lots of people prepare months in advance, but if you're new and you're now starting to think, what do I grow for next year, maybe get yourself a little organizer or planner and write down what you want to grow. So for me, it's not about getting loads and loads of packets of seeds, especially if you're a new allotment person. It's not about getting loads and loads of packets of seeds and going, I'm going to sow the whole lot. Think about what you want to grow for yourself. So if you're someone that likes carrots, cauliflowers, you like beetroot, sweet corn, chard, kale, if you like all of that, then grow that. But I see lots of people who just take loads of packets of seeds and they say, oh, I've got 10 or 12 different packets of seeds here, I'm going to sow as much of this as possible. And they may end up with tons and tons of veg, and they go, oh, I don't eat some of that. So when you think about what you're going to grow or what you're going to sow for next year, why not think about all the things you like? So if there's some seeds that you've been given or you've brought and you're not too keen on them, maybe don't sow them, or just sow a few of them, so you know you've got them there to try them if you want to. But I always find it's handy to get a notepad or an organizer and just write down what you're going to sow each month, remembering to look at what zonal climate you're in, because certain counties or areas have a different zonal climate, which means down south you might start sowing stuff from February onwards, where up north they might not start sowing till March, April time. It all depends on your zonal climate. And if you want to have a look at a YouTube person who talks all about zonal climates, take a look at a person who I follow called Charles Dowding. He tells you all about zonal climates and tells you the best times to sow and to harvest. Hope this little video just gives you tips and ideas so to make it easier for you, yourself, or your friends if you've got an allotment. So as I said, I always find it easy if I write down stuff in my trusty notepad. I mean, you might only just write in a handful of seeds you're going to sow, or you might write in a complete planner. You might write in there when you sowed that particular packet of seeds, when it's due for harvest. So then you might even use that notepad or diary for next year, so you can go back on everything you did this year. But I hope this helps just a little bit, guys, and gives you some ideas. Okay, I wanted to show you how I store my seeds, and I've got two baskets, a small little basket and a big basket. These are both, one's a wicker basket, the other one's just a normal tiny little basket. So in here, as you can see, left hand side, these are all my seeds that I've got from the Kitchen Garden magazine that I subscribed to over so many months. I believe I've got about just under 100 packets of seeds there from my garden magazine. But you can also find king seeds in every garden centre. I've also got various other seeds this side, and in the little basket in the big tray there, you can see just here if any of my seed packets are really damaged, what I do is I get little brown money envelopes, as you can see, and I will put the remaining seeds in there, and then using a sticky note, I write in there what seeds I've put into the envelope, when you can sow them, when you can harvest. So hopefully this gives you a little idea, guys, on how you can store all your seeds so you know where to get hold of them. And in this long one here, This has got all my flower seeds for my allotment, because I also grow flowers on my allotment. I hope this gives you just a little idea, guys. Okay, welcome back, guys and girls. I've come down to my allotment today. I was intending to sow some bits and pieces, as I've said. August is the month where I'm going to be sowing loads of seeds ready to fill the hungry gap for next year. But I come down and I realised that my greenhouse was untidy. I'm still full of the seeds I sowed a few months ago. So I've had a big tidy up, a big clean up. So I will probably come down Wednesday and Thursday just to sow the seeds that I've got ready to sow. But I've had a massive tidy up in here. It looks a lot better now. So all the shelves are clean, tidy. I'm ready to go. Ready to plant stuff. What I've also done is I've also been into my polytunnel, because I haven't touched that for a couple of weeks, and I've given it a huge water. Hopefully the things that were growing in here will still carry on growing and survive. I've got lots of chilies also to pick. So yeah, I've had big watering in here, a big tidy up in the greenhouse. So Wednesday and Thursday I'll come down here, I'll sow the seeds that I've got ready to sow, and then I'll just have a general tidy up of the plot, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay guys, that's it for another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch. I look forward to seeing you over the weekend for a weekend edition of Nick's Veggie Patch. Stay safe, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your allotment. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. This is a massive shout out to all my YouTube friends. Thanks for watching and subscribing. To see more from Nick's Veggie Patch, hit the thumb button at the bottom of the page to save video to favourites, and hit the button in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.